A film that's been getting slammed by both the critics and the fans alike as being one of the worst video game movie adaptations ever made, as some regard this as a very painful hit to the genre. Well, I just saw it, and what do I think about it? We'll find that out right now. Okay, so World of Warcraft. Oh, I'm sorry, this is the earliest years of Warcraft, so it's just Warcraft. So Warcraft follows the story of an orc chieftain named Durotan, and after migrating into a world called Azeroth, since his homeworld is on the brink of collapsing, he hopes of creating a world for both his family and his people in a very peaceful manner. In where Azeroth has gone through a time period in where peace among the land is now accomplished between all the races, but the orcs arrived and having plans to change all of that. And the humans who live in Azeroth view them as unknown creatures who step into the land to declare war, which in turn causes them to declare war against the orcs. Now, as the orcs and the humans' ideals grow into hatred, Durotan has a side plan to unite with the humans, as he feels concerned that there might be more to the orcs' declaration of war. Now, Warcraft is the newest video game to film adaptation, which is based on the earliest lore of Warcraft and not World of Warcraft. We're just getting it out there right now so people don't attack me for saying, oh, it's not in World of Warcraft, it's in Warcraft. So it's in Warcraft. And this film is directed by director Duncan Jones, the director of such films like Moon and Source Code, which a lot of people can agree that these are very underrated sci-fis. This guy is a very talented director, especially when I heard that he was picked to helm the Warcraft film, and since he is a die-hard Warcraft fan, I had a feeling that this film was going to be the film to put video game films in the front line. But after its release, people were hating it. Like, they were really hating it for certain reasons, and me being me, I wanted to go in with a fresh open mind and just wanted to let you guys know what I think about it. And sadly, I'm not going to be joining those group of haters because I actually really liked Warcraft. First of which, I'll cover on what most people can agree on is that the visual effects is drop dead gorgeous. This is some of the best CGI in a video game film, or a film in general, that I have ever seen. You have landscapes of various towns being shown all across Azeroth, and the incredible detail and uniqueness for each town felt very inspired, and it felt like this movie has transported me to this fantasy world. I love when movies bring stylistic special effects to the point where you believe in these creatures, you believe in these fantasy towns that are right in front of your face, because I completely forgot that I was in the real world. The effects to the orcs and the other races that aren't human really helped enhance that experience in my opinion. The motion capture to this movie is just as good as, let's say, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes and Avatar. And by that I mean that I'm glad that they went down the route of motion capture, because they were able to capture the almost human emotion of some of these orcs, which resulted in you actually getting behind them as characters. You felt that pain, concern, and happiness that these orcs express, and it just really helped them being believable characters in a fantasy world, but it all works. Also, noticeable aspects of the film, such as the costume and set design, really helped bring Azeroth to life, and it was cool since each character had their own distinct look to them. Because of this, it gave people like myself, who isn't too familiar with the universe of Warcraft, a more authentic feel. As Duncan Jones, being a huge fan of the lore, you can feel the love and effort being put into this film. And that's one of the huge compliments I have to give to the film, is that for me, I felt like I didn't have to be a Warcraft fan to understand its universe and get what Duncan Jones is trying to put on screen. Yeah, there are parts of the film where a certain creature would pop up and I'm like, okay, I'm pretty sure this is the part where fans just lost their shit over because of said creature, which I'll get back to very soon. But aside being a Warcraft film, there were very intense and brutal action scenes between the CGI orcs and the humans, and it was so engaging to the point where it almost felt poetic in a way. Seeing those two sides fight together, it was clean as clean can get when it comes to effects. Bones were cracking, limbs were being cut off. I mean, that's what I want to see in a film called Warcraft. Plus, there was a point, purpose, and motivation as to why these main characters are fighting, and that's partly due to how these characters are written. You have Travis Fimmel as the main hero, who's kind of like the coolish Han Solo character in a Warcraft universe, and I thought he was a very fun presence on screen. I'm pretty sure he was the only actor in which he was aware of what type of role he had in this film. He was just having fun with his character, and overall for me, it worked. But one of the highlights of the film, like I mentioned, were the orcs, and that's all thanks to Toby Kebbell's performance as Durotan, the main orc of the film. Now, Durotan was easily the best character in the entire film. You understood where he was coming from, you understood what his motivations were. They expanded more humanity in the orcs than the actual humans, which is for me one of the biggest problems in Warcraft, the actual characterization of the humans. Almost every single human character was boring as hell, and the worst part about them is that this movie didn't provide any arcs or character development to where you can completely get behind them as characters. Which, coming back to the main dude, I mean, yeah, he was a fun character and he worked in this universe, but the writing could have been more from what this film was giving us, because something actually really tragic happens to his character. It could have been a very impactful and emotional scene, but the way the writing balances between the orcs and the humans, you don't really have time to get to know this character. It takes major points off the movie for me. Because of these boring human characters, it turns into a very slow movie, and I would lie to you guys if I said that this movie didn't bore me in some scenes. But if I was to look at this overall, the good does outweigh the bad quite a bit, because this movie does have good filmmaking aspects to it, like the costume and set design, the motion capture work, and the beautiful cinematography. Also the compelling and brutal action, but you also have those really boring human characters, because I say if you want to see Warcraft, I suggest seeing it at a high matinee price. I'll even go as far as to say full admission for the fans of the lore. You guys will have a ball with it. So anyway guys, have you seen Warcraft, and what did you think about it? And what is your current favorite video game movie? Whatever it is, leave it down below. And as always, you can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and all that social media shit down below. Keep in contact with me, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and as always, may the Force be with you.